Hello, my name is Lucas, this is A Bit of Lit, and I'm here to talk about The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner, which is a very good book, I think. Also, really annoying to read, very, very difficult to read, and, you know, I'm not a big fan of William Faulkner when he's trying to experiment, and he does so very heavily with the second part in particular. There are some other things that he tries to do um, that are in italics, and I'll explain that a little bit more. That actually doesn't bother me so much, but this whole we're going to capture what it's like when people think and not use punctuation, it just, no. Okay. Annoying for me. But I suppose, it is an artistic expression of something that can't be put down in words. But it doesn't work for me. But overall, I think the book is very good. I enjoyed it. But there were parts I really didn't like reading. So, anyway, this book is the story, the epic fall, the dramatic fall. The story is about the dramatic fall of the Compson family. There's not, I wouldn't say there's any sort of real inciting incidents or, rising action or climax. It's not told. First of all, the narrative is not told chronologically in any sense of the word. I mean, good Lord. You start with April 7th, 1928. You go back to June 2nd, 1910. And then you go to April 6th, 1928. And then it's April 8th, 1928, okay? Which I believe was Easter. Yeah. Well, it was Sunday because they went to worship and go to Sunday Mass, or Sunday church anyway. So, yeah, it's just a series of different days that show this brutally ugly dissension. I mean, the fall of this family is just like watching a train wreck. And not only can you not look away, you don't want to look away, you also don't want to see it. And you don't want to look at them because you don't like them. But you enjoy it, and it's painful. This is a very good book. The characters in the book are, I don't know why I'm wiggling the book around. Characters in this book are very strong. It starts off with Benji Compson, formerly known as Maury. However, Benji is a source of shame to the Compson family because he has learning disabilities, and he's simple in a way, very sweet and honest. Seems like he's very sensitive, always crying when he's overstimulated or hurt in some manner. He's also has no concept of time, and constantly he'll be reminded of his sister through different sensations, who he regularly says smells like trees. He's constantly reminded of his sister, Caddy, and through some events based on what Caddy's done, and Benji, who used to be known as Maury, named after his uncle, but the name was changed to Benjamin and then shortened to Benji by his hypochondriac mother, or she's a hypochondriac now. Their father is Jason Compson, and so is one of his brothers, Jason Compson, who narrates the third part. The second part is narrated by Quentin Compson, who tells the story of a day in June 2nd, 1910, when he is this smart kid who's going to Harvard. A lot of the land, by the way, that this family used to have was sold off to make a golf course, it seems like, because they have a golf ball, and he hears Caddy a lot, and it makes him think of his sister, Caddy. That would be Benji thinks of Caddy when he, has the golf ball, or hears Caddy. Quentin and the rest of the family sort of learn that Caddy has gone around town. Well, that's a euphemism. She's become pregnant outside of marriage, out of wedlock, and now she's trying to get married before she has a child, so she won't be shamed. But the man she tries to marry, his name is Herbert, and Quentin doesn't like this guy. Quentin becomes really obsessed with his sister, and because of the sort of cynical viewpoint of his father, Jason, Jason Compson, and sort of the advice that he's getting from him, he falls down into this obsessive, dangerous viewpoint and has the idea that we'll just say that we slept together and then boost off. Very strange. That doesn't end up working, and Herbert finds out about the pregnancy and is quite upset, and he leaves Caddy in shame. I don't know if I mentioned they sell the land off so Quentin can go to Harvard. He's a Harvard boy. He's an intellectual. He's very smart. He's always thinking about things. Much like Benji is always remembering the past. Quentin also has these periods where something from the past comes into effect. You can see in italics. That is something that's really helpful. I'm very glad that these different elements are coming in italics. Otherwise, this would be, that's Benji's part, unreadable. Anyway, Quentin ends up killing himself out of some weird psychosexual pain, because he got so obsessed with what's happened with his sister. Anyway. And then we get to Jason's part, and this is like the worst person ever. He is looking for Miss Quentin, who is Caddy's child, and he is the head of the family now, Jason Compson the Fourth, I believe, and he manages the money, he runs the house, he does everything, and he hates it, and he resents everyone for it. He's very unhappy. He doesn't like what he has to do, and he's losing a lot of money. It seems like there's a large part where he starts talking about stock trading in New York and Wall Street and this kind of stuff, and he had some money in cotton, and it just didn't pan out, which I believe must be much like the fall of this family. They had this great house, and now it's falling apart, and it's decrepit, and this family is just so ugly and dysfunctional, because no one in the family really respects Caddy. No one really respects Benji, except the Dilsey. Jason is sort of scrounging for any money he can, trying to get money from Caddy to take care of Quentin, and taking money from here and hand in other people's pockets. And he's looking for Miss Quentin. And Miss Quentin is sick and tired of everything, and she goes off on a run and takes his money, especially the money that he has been mishandling for himself. Oh, I was saying that he had money in cotton, so I think that's just adding to the fall of the legacy, or the fall of the South. Yeah, she takes the money, and he's on the lookout. I believe he calls the police, but then he some of that money, he's sort of misappropriated. He can't be looking. He can't push too hard on that, because then he will implicate himself in some sort of crime. And the last part, we're skipping over a whole lot, but the last part ends with following Dilsey taking Benji to church, and the pastor, the father there, gives a rousing sermon, and after church, Luster takes Benji on the horse and carriage, and Jason catches up with him. Jason is, by the way, incredibly racist and hateful and misogynist. I mean, he's so awful, and I enjoyed reading him. He felt like such a real, terrible person. So did all the characters, really. I felt like I really understood them. I didn't relate to Jason the most, necessarily, but it was enjoyable to see him be so awful, even though I felt really bad for Benji, because he eventually, when he catches up with Benji, Benji's crying, and he tries to shut him up, and that's the end of that. There's a lot going on. I left a few threads for you to find out for yourself, or if you've already read it, you can talk about it in the comments. Let me know what you think of this book. I thought it was pretty good, very difficult to read, but yeah, I don't know if I would ever read it again. I might. I certainly enjoyed a good amount of it, enough to warrant a reread. But I think I'd rather just move on to another William Faulkner and say, okay, that was great. That was fun. Yeah, overall, of the 4 books I've read, this makes it into the top 3. Maybe Go Down Moses, Absalom, The Sound and the Fury, and then Nothing, and then beneath the list would be Sanctuary. Yeah, overall, pretty good book, I thought. Really annoying to read these parts that have no... Oh my God, right here. Wait, no, I saw punctuation. This is not accurate. Where are those parts that are just crazy to read? Oh, come on, man. Come on, give me a break here. Anyway, I'll be reading another William Faulkner at some point. Maybe As I Lay Dying will be next. I don't know. But that's all I've got to say. Overall, pretty good book. If I made a mistake, it is quite hard to read, so if I made a mistake, let me know, and I will see you next time.